Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm MD Gaming and today we're going to talk about the Tier 4 New York. Our commander is going to be William Sims. His base trait isn't going to be that important because you're Tier 4 and it's a battleship, so it's not going to be that effective. But the inspirations of Andrew Cunningham and Achino are going to be essential because again, we're focused on building accuracy for these types of builds. Alright, moving on, we're going to do Flammable Cannoneer. It's going to make our main battery range further and then our shell grouping even better for better accuracy, but there is that risk of fire. Gyrating Joe Blitz, we're going to focus on traverse speed and then AP damage. And we're going to go a little bit slower, but for the New York that's fine because ultimately people are going to chase this ship. Marksmanship, right? Main battery dispersion, focused on accuracy. Rudder shift time is going to be effective, which will be a pain, but it's worth it. And then reaching out XXL for the main battery range of 2%. And then, as we're talking about, this is the way we're going to mitigate fire with fire with fire. We're going to do 9% less damage per fire over time, which is going to be essential. And then if we get 3 fires, then it's going to automatically do an automatic damage control party. So it's essential. So let's talk about the Tier 4 New York. Now the New York you're going to see is a little bit different in that it has 5 guns on it, but 3 of them are towards the rear of the ship. And so because of that, this ship actually has better firing angles when you're being chased by the enemy. And you're going to see that during this game. I'm going to be attacked a little bit and I'll turn around and then I'll actually start being able to weave back and forth and use my 3 guns in the rear to do a lot of damage. So, like in all battleship fashion, I have a aircraft carrier in the game and I am on the weak side. But even if you're on the weak side, guys, I cannot always stress how important it is for you to hold down your side. If you go towards the other side, even though B and C are the more advantageous spots to take, you're going to put your whole team at B and C at disadvantage because they're all going to be open up to crossfire by the teams at C and then the teams that are at A that you left behind unopposed. We also, luckily for us, we have the aircraft carrier on our side. The game is already setting up to be a very good game. Weak side, aircraft carrier on our side, awesome. But a little thing that you guys should know is when there is an aircraft carrier, if you can stay within a group, you're going to be able to do a lot more AA damage to those aircraft. And when you do a lot more damage to those aircraft, you're going to deplane the aircraft carrier, and it's going to be a lot easier later in the late game when there's a lot of less airplanes in the sky because you've now killed all of the enemy's airplanes. Now, with the fight fire by fire, when you're receiving 9% less damage, it's okay to have those fires burning on your ship because ultimately the repair party is going to repair a lot of that flame damage. So if you wait until see I got the ×2, now I can try to use the damage control party and that way eliminate ×2, and now I don't have a permanent fire. When you're using the fight fire by fire, it's very important that you just let single fires burn, because when you let them burn, it allows you to kind of like save yourself just in case more fires come. And then you're going to wait and take good opportunity shots at targets that you see. So as you saw, that New York kind of turned, so I thought that would be a good time to shoot. And again, broadside is able to do a good chunk of damage to him. Now, again, when you're playing on a battleship, you want to make sure you're angled, and that's very true for the New York. As you can see, the firing angles on the New York are pretty bad. I'm pretty wide open right now, and I lost that last, the middle turret to fire. And then when you're trying to shoot, sometimes like 1 second after someone disappears, the shots can still land at the location. So I saw I was able to do 3 shots. Too bad they were over penetrations. So don't think just because they're off the radar or off the map you're not going to be able to shoot them. You still have a chance. Again, he pops back up, able to shoot. I'm going to aim now towards the middle. Again, when there's a further distance, sometimes it's better to shoot towards the middle of the ship rather than at the waterline because the dispersion is going to increase as the distance goes. So that way the dispersion spaces out, and I was able to get that 1 citadel, 3 overpins. Maybe if I went a little bit lower, I could have got more citadels, but that's kind of my recommendation at further distances, trying to not shoot directly at the waterline, trying to shoot probably midway at the hole, because that's going to do a lot more damage. Now, target prioritization is a big thing. So for me, I always try to do destroyers, cruisers, and then battleships. So if it's advantageous, I'm going to go after some cruisers. Luckily, the other battleship did. We were able to get that cruiser off the board. Just know cruisers are going to do a lot more damage over time than, say, the battleships. And if they're at further distances, the cruisers are going to be a little more accurate than the battleships at further distances. So getting them off the board quicker is going to let you live in the game a lot longer. Now, as you can see, in the New York, I'm already at 40,000 damage done to me. I'm pretty low on life. The other battleship on my team has done a fantastic job of taking all the aggro away from me, allowing me to put my New York into a position where he's actually plays better. And then when you're playing the New York, you just need to know it plays better being chased or going in reverse than it does going forward. And that's just because the firing angles going backwards is a lot better. Even with this deep angle that I'm at, I'm still able to get a full salvo out on the enemy. Now the citadel line you're looking for is at the wire line itself. It's where I've aimed multiple times, just kind of reiterate it. And when they're turning in, you want to aim a little bit lower than that and a little down, because ultimately they're going to turn into it. If they were turning the other way, you try to aim above the water line a little bit and out, because that's where they're going to turn. Again, you have to kind of predict where they're going to go, and that's going to be very beneficial for you in the long run while you're playing this game. I just want to take a side note and just say how important target prioritization is. My teammate who helped save me, the Julius Caesar, he is going to die out. But if the enemy focused on me and then him, we both would have been dead, and the game probably would have turned out a lot differently. But instead, I was able to use a repair control party and gain probably about 50% more health than I already had. The main takeaway is if someone is about to be dead, don't just leave it to another person. Kill them, everyone focus and kill that guy, get him off the board. All it is another 15-30 second reload, and you're not having to worry about someone coming back with twice as much health as they had before. Now when you're playing with New York, when you see this enemy, he's going to be within range, the other New York is going to be within range. Be at an angle that you're going to be able to basically turn around and have that guy follow you. So that New York is coming towards us, and what we're going to do is we're going to fire a full salvo at him and then immediately turn and just face backwards and have him chase us. It serves two things. First, the New York has a much better firing angle when it's being chased than it going towards somebody. And then the second one is that it's much harder to hit a ship when it is being chased. So I have a better angle on the enemy New York than New York has on me, because he has a hard time trying to shoot me because I'm going away from him, but I have an easier time shooting him because he's coming towards me. So just know that. Again, if you're shooting an enemy that is actually coming towards you, what you're going to do is you're going to shoot a little bit down into the outside angle, and that's just the normal trajectory path those type of ships are going to take. Luckily, this dude actually turned into the shots, which kind of was even more beneficial than what I thought it was going to be. But as you can see, he has to open himself up in order for him to get shots off, and I'm just staying at my specific angle shots. And then again, he's now turning away, and so when an enemy turns away, you want to aim up and out, because that's the, again, trajectory path of that ship's momentum is going to take them. And you should always stay in the angle that you're in, and that way you avoid taking a lot of damage. Anything, hold off on your shots, wait till you become not spotted, and then make your move to change your angle, so then you can then shoot them and you can be in a better spot. So I waited till I wasn't spotted, then was able to get stuff into my turn. A good shot opened up, now I turned into him. He's going to take a lot of damage, and then I'm able to get a good angle before he's able to actually land these shots. And you'll see a lot of players have sea detectability battleship builds, and that's because it allows them to get closer to the enemy and allows them to get better angles for their shots when they are going to fire. But I prefer to fire at range and focus more on accuracy, so that's where my build kind of comes from. But to each their own, because if you get closer, the accuracy gets a little bit better because your rounds don't have enough time to spread out. So it's really how you feel about what type of game you want to play, and then that's how it'll play. But that wraps up the game, guys. I hope you learned something about playing with New York. Again, when you're playing the ship, you want to be able to utilize those 3 back turrets more than those front ones, and then having people chase you is good. But we ended up with 102,000 damage, 2 citadels and 3 destroys, and then a high caliber medal. Again, gotta reiterate how important it is that you do target prioritization, because I wouldn't have been where I was if the enemy, instead of focusing on the Julius Caesar, actually came and fired at me. But we finished up with 2,138 XP, 3 kills. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you find my content very helpful. But more importantly, leave comments down below. It's going to help me make better content in the future. It's going to help me improve. And then if like my teachings are not what you guys want, I can then tailor it to what you guys are really looking for. Because ultimately, I'm here for you guys. So I really appreciate you guys' time and everything. And with that, guys, MD Gaming out.